Holla Peeps, it's your girl Schree, reporting live for SchreeTV. Okay, once again, I was trying to puff my hair up real quick for the one, because it goes 3, 2. That's what happens. My baby's awake. The day can get started. I'm going to the gym. Okay. I really haven't had to go because my Sensa and my hydroxycut is kicking in. Yes. Okay, now that's some weirdness right there on the Zoom. I don't know. Mike Allen has shot a firearm for the first time on HLN. He said he earned respect for the weapon. You have to. He shot like an AR. Look at me, like I noticed, you know. Like I know the short term for it. You know, the AR, man. It's the AR something. But yeah, they're big weapons. They have a lot of kick. Knock the shoulder back. Like, ow. I think I'm just going to go into the dry sauna with my sauna suit. Sit there. You know. Hang out with my sauna friends. It's very cool. Find out what news is going on. See, that's what I like about HLN, is because they loot their shit. You don't miss anything. You know what I mean? I can't believe it's September 23rd already. Alright. I'll tell you what, it's getting chilly in Vegas. Shoot. During the summer, I opened the door to get warmth. The door's open now and I'm cold. It's cold out. It's 82? It's freezing. Brr. Amanda Knox's trial is going to start. Her new trial should start this week. She said she is not going over there for the new trial. Okay? She's no idiot. She's no fool, my love. I don't either. Fuck that. Go over there. Stay right in the United States. But I mean, supposedly they can extradite her over there. Hopefully the United States will keep her home on asylum. Can they do that? I think they can do that. You know what I mean? Because she seriously is afraid. I would be afraid. Especially when she didn't do it. It's like a witch hunt. The black dude did it. All his DNA is everywhere. Hers is nowhere. Although she did act rather bizarre, you know what I mean? It's the crime scene. And then at the police station. You know what I mean? Making out with a boyfriend and, you know. It was a little bit of odd behavior. But she was probably in shock.
This is a Fox News alert. According to the Associated Press, the IRS says that the official at the heart of the Tea Party scandal, Lois Lerner, is retiring. You will remember her. She heads up the tax-exempt department that decided which groups would be vetted for further scrutiny when they applied for their status. And many dozens of conservative groups have come forward to file suit, saying that they were singled out. You'll remember also that she was called to testify before Congress, and after giving her explanation, she then took the fifth.
I don't even remember her.
She's been on paid leave, I believe it's since March. But again, crossing the wires now, according to the IRS, Lois Lerner is retiring.
You know, Fox News breaking news is like, what?
But it's about who got singled out for memorial tribute.
Oh yeah, the memorial tributes from the Emmys last night. People are tripping.
TV legends were not. Julie Banderas is live in our New York City newsroom with the backlash. Hello, Julie. Hi, Sheldon.
Like they didn't recognize Larry Hagman or Jack Klugman.
Speeches and unconventional tributes for departed actors, namely the Cory Monteith tribute. The Glee actor, who was 31 when he died in July of a drug overdose, is the youngest ever to be included and was one of the actors who received a standalone tribute. James Gandolfini and Liberace were other stars who received similar tributes. Thing is, Monteith was never actually nominated for an Emmy. Angry, some in Hollywood, including the Family of Odd couple star Jack Klugman. According to TMZ, Klugman's son, Adam, is furious. His father, a three-time Emmy winner and Hollywood legend, only got a brief mention. But the most talked about moment on Twitter, though, seemed to be Michael Douglas's raunchy acceptance speech after he won an Emmy for playing Liberace in Behind the Candelabra and offered to split the trophy with co-star Matt Damon, who was nominated for playing Liberace's lover. At one point, Douglas joked while pointing to the statuette, "Matt, you deserve half of this. You want the bottom or the top?" Douglas also thanked his wife, Catherine.
I thought that was funny.
Which may have come to many of you as a surprise.
Do you want the bottom or the top?
Taking some time apart. As for the actual awards, Breaking Bad picked up the Emmy for Outstanding Drama Series. Modern Family took home the prize for Outstanding Comedy Series. Again, these stars, Julia Louis-Dreyfus and Tony Hale, both took home awards. Dreyfus won her fourth Emmy for Outstanding Actress in a Comedy Series. Never a dull moment at the Emmys. All right.
I thought it was good. I watched it.
Well, possible meeting between President Obama.
Oh wait, this could be important.
To the parents of a former U.S. Marine held captive in Iran since 2011. why he's behind bars, and what is being done to try to set him free.
Oh, they're going to commercial. Well, that's good. At least I won't miss any of it, right? I can't believe how cold it is outside. Ah, baby's retarded. I need to look that up. I thought Al-Qaeda took the credit for the Kenyan bombing. Let's see. Let's see what the New York Times says. I posted on my Facebook. Oh, I spelled Qaeda wrong. It's Q-A-E-D-A. I spelled it Q-U-I-D-A. Five to 10 hostages were killed. Masked militants. Can you imagine you're at the mall and like all of a sudden these crazy looking people come running around with guns? And they tweeted, the Shabab warned on Twitter that Kenyan forces who've just attempted a roof landing must know that they are jeopardizing the lives of all the hostages. What's the Shabab? President Obama called the Kenyan president on Sunday to reaffirm the strong and historic partnership between the United States and Kenya. That relationship has been strained by the election in March of Mr. Kenyatta, who has been being prosecuted at the International Criminal Court on charges of financing death squads during the 2007 political violence. The president skipped visiting Kenya, his father's birthplace, on his trip to Africa in late June. Addressing the nation, Mr. Kenyatta sounded a note of solidarity and loss, revealing that his nephew and the man's fiancée were among the dead. mall is one of Nairobi's fanciest and expensive shops and restaurants attracted wealthy Kenyans. Among the dead were people from all over the world, including from Britain, France, Ghana, Canada, China, and India. After the confirmations of the deaths of the three Britons, Prime Minister David Cameron said Monday that he was cutting short a visit to Scotland and returning to London to head a meeting of the so-called Cobra Committee. It's a committee of senior ministers and security officials. 5 Americans were among the wounded, but none were known to have been killed. Kenya's in national mourning. Among the dead is Ruhila Adasha Sood, a popular Kenyan radio host, who was in the parking lot of the mall, hosting a cooking competition. Wait.
This terrible outrage occurred. We will provide that to whatever law enforcement is necessary. And we are confident that Kenya, which has been a pillar of stability in Eastern Africa, will be rebuilt.
Meantime, the Kenyan military operation inside the mall goes on. One of the problems here is that the Kenyan authorities don't know exactly how many attackers there were, so they don't know exactly how many they are looking for. The Interior Ministry of Kenya sent out tweets just a couple of hours ago saying, quote, "We can confirm that 3 terrorists have been killed so far. A few others have suffered injuries." And they went on in another tweet, "We can also confirm that we've arrested more than 10 suspects. It is not clear to us at this point whether all those suspects were inside the mall, were actually the attackers, or whether some of them may have been involved in planning this attack from outside." Trace.
So, Jonathan, they have suspects in custody. Do we know anything else about the possible motive for this attack?
Well, remember, Al-Shabaab is a terror group based in Somalia. Now, they have said publicly that this attack was in part revenge for Kenyan military operations in southern Somalia. But it is interesting to note that some of the eyewitnesses to this attack have also said that the Al-Shabaab militants who were involved were asking individuals inside that mall if they were Muslims, asking them to recite a prayer as a test and then shooting them point blank in the head if they failed that test. So while this may not have been directly an anti-Western attack, I spoke today to former U.S. Ambassador to the UN, John Bolton, about it, and he said it should concern all of us. Listen here.
So this has been a problem that's been evident for quite some time, and now I think we're seeing the price of not paying adequate attention to it, the price of assuming that Somalia is a long way away.
And of course there were Western victims of this attack. We understand that 3 Britons were killed, and of course some Americans were indeed wounded in this attack, which, as I say, Trace, the situation not completely over yet according to Kenyan officials. Trace?
Yeah, the Fox Sports chief correspondent Jonathan Hunt live in New York. Jonathan, thank you. With us now, former CIA Covert Operations Officer Mike Baker. He is currently president of the global security consulting firm Diligence LLC. Mike, good to see you.
Thank you.
So we early thought that maybe some Americans had been involved in this attack, and we now don't have any proof of that at all, which is not to say that Al-Shabaab is not recruiting from the United States, because they are.
Right, and it's disturbing. A lot of people would look at this and think, how do they do that? But Al-Shabaab
what's up with that?
Really focused on trying to identify and then recruit and then eventually radicalize and train Somali Americans. So, and they've been targeting, interestingly enough, depending on who you talk to, the Minneapolis community in particular, maybe 40 to 50 Somali Americans have kind of taken the bait and eventually made their way over to Somalia, received training, been radicalized, been involved in operations. And maybe half of those have come from the Minneapolis area.
Well, and Minneapolis has the biggest U.S. Somali population in the country, but there was early word we said about Americans being involved because they had sent out some messages identifying possible Americans. I mean, that's odd.
Well, it's odd until you look at sort of the history of al-Shabaab and also the growing use of social media by other elements of al-Qaeda and radical Islam in general. And they've been, I don't want to say they're sophisticated, that makes them sound a little bit too highbrow, but they know what they're doing, let's put it that way. They've been using Twitter until their accounts were shut down throughout the course of this attack. So, you know, when they're looking for people, I mean, what does this mean for us? This is really dangerous from a homeland security point of view. If they're successful, and they have been, in attracting these individuals who have U.S.
I'll tell you what, let me mute that for a minute. This is fucked up. These people are recruiting in America. What's up with that? Yeah. Oh, we're at 21 minutes. I need to put this video up, y'all. That is so whack. Anyway, I love y'all. I hope everybody's having a great Monday. More SchreeTV coming up at you very, very soon. I love you guys.